Anyone have, does anyone have a question?
Hi, Stuart.
Hi.
It's Tony. Staying centered in the Tantian, present in the moment. Do we even deal with the concept of hope?
You know, if you're centered and you're living your life in the moment, if you're truly balanced inside, connected to spirit, God, uh, you're so totally embracing life that there's no need for hope. Hope is something you have when you're not connected to life, praying that somehow it's going to get better, But you have built a system inside that has gotten to the place where, hope wants you to go and you don't need that anymore. Now, look, I mean, this is the ideal situation. And not everybody or very few people are going to manage to do this 100%, So there's always a little need for hope in there, because we're not perfect beings. Hope fills up the imperfection. Something in us wants life to be better than it is. But if you get that balance inside and you get your mind focused in the chakra below the navel, your heart is open, your chakra system is really working, there's no need to hope. You are living, you're God's child living in the world. So you don't have to go into your mind and begin to create all these things you hope will take place. Because your life is your being. It's right there. You're living it, totally in the present. I'm not discounting hope. I mean, hope is a crutch that people need in life in order to overcome, some of that desperation that exists in the world, which people have to live with every day. Hoping it's going to get better. Hoping I'll have a better job, I'll have a better this, a better that. But when you're centered, whatever your life is a miracle. And there's no need to hope. You are a living miracle. And you're really connected to God, to spirit. Your life is your teacher. You embrace all of life. Everything represents an opportunity to grow for you. So it's not necessary. You understand? I mean, I often say, and I really believe this, that if you're having a spiritual life, understand, if you're doing all the things that I just expressed, understand, God is everywhere. Spirit is everywhere. Everything is a manifestation of higher energy. You don't need dogma and rules and regulations and being told what to do and what not to do by, some powerful people. I mean, you are a child of God. Everything around you is a manifestation of God's energy. You're having a spiritual life. And I think this is an essential thing to learn, because we do have too many crutches in life. We have so many things that are supposed to bring about a better ending. And rarely does it bring about a better ending. What brings about a better ending is really us learning how to get centered inside, be balanced inside, building an inner life that is strong enough to connect us with God, with spirit. I mean, look, I don't want to negate religion, and I think religion is an essential element in life because at least it gives people something to lean on. But what I'm saying is we have the capacity inside ourselves to build an inner life that doesn't, we don't have to, spend all our time hoping and praying that something is going to get better. You understand? Life is the miracle. Life is the temple. I say this all the time. And if we're really open and grounded and connected to spirit, we are worshiping at the temple of life and everything it has to teach us. So we don't need to hope. We are, living expression of God's energy. Now, again, this is an ideal situation, but it's certainly something worth working towards. And all it takes is inner work, developing an inner life, building a chakra system, learning how to breathe properly, learning how to stay centered in the hara, down below the navel, All of this is possible, and this is what we're trying to learn here. I'm not trying to teach anybody religion and dogma and stuff, I'm not interested in that. I'm trying to teach people how they can build their own unique connection with higher energy in the universe. And there's no two people in this class that are going to experience this the same way. But each and every human being has amazing creative energy. And each and every human being is connected to what's infinite in the universe. What's missing is the ability to do it, learning how to do it. That's all these classes are about. They're not about me being a guru. I say this a million times, It's all about just learning how to do what I'm talking about. And that's one of the things I love about this. There's no dogma, there's no rules and regulation. Hey, I have one rule: don't move, in class, because it disrupts the class. Or no drugs. Two rules: no drugs and don't move in class. Other than that, each and every one of us is unique, and we have to find our unique path to God. As I said the other day, you get 100 different makes of automobiles drive into a gas station. You understand? They need to get filled up in order to run. Well, this is kind of like a gas station here to get energy that enables us to run in our own unique way. Does anyone else have a question?
Thank you. That was beautiful.
You're welcome. Well, I hope it registers, It took me a long time to learn all these things, and boy, I tell you. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
I do, Stuart. This is Wendy.
Wendy, I didn't know what to do if you didn't ask me at least one question in a class.
I try, do my best.
Oh, good. God bless you, dear.
Rudy talks about not going for self-realization, but actually
Right,
really
speak a little louder, okay?
Oh, okay. How's that? Can you hear me a little better?
Yeah, it's better.
Oh, okay. Rudy speaks about not focusing on self-realization, however, focusing on rebirthing, and like specifically to not focus on self-realization and to be very focused on rebirthing. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I can very easily speak to that. What he's talking about is the whole process of death and rebirth that takes place when you do inner work. That's really what he's talking about, is breaking down the old and making room for a whole new level of energy to be born inside you. And the consistency of doing that really enables us to finally surrender in such a depth that we literally are reborn inside. And I heard him talk about this forever. He used to beat it over my brain about cycles of energy, being reformed, breaking yourself down. That's what he was talking about. And this is an essential element, not only in what we do, but in anything. If people want to grow, they have to really make that effort in themselves to break down, what somebody called that frozen part of themselves in another class, so they can truly attain that whole, it's like winter gives birth to spring, spring gives birth to summer. Nature is showing this all the time, how one cycle has to give birth to another cycle. We attain things, then we have to let go of them so we can continue the growth process. That's what, this rebirthing is all about. I mean, there used to be somebody that came to the ashram at Rudy's house that taught a thing called rebirthing. I mean, I don't know if that's still in the world, that kind of thing, but I mean, Rudy, supported it because it was the very nature of what it was, the people were saying was exactly what he was trying to teach us. Excuse me, how to surrender in enough depth to transform the old into new. And you know where this takes place? Honestly, it takes place in the sexual area. Because that's where, it's like alchemy, that's where the human transforms itself into the spiritual. As I've said many times, that's where the yin, the yang, the male-female principle, that marriage of male-female energy takes place in the sexual chakra. That will give birth to Kundalini. And when Kundalini rises, you understand, all the stuff, burns up, and it gives birth to a whole new level of consciousness. So the capacity to be centered and draw energy through the sexual area is really a very important part of this work, because that's where that transformation takes place. That's where the rebirthing takes place. The birth takes place. And we all need that, because otherwise we get stuck in the mud, we get stuck in the old, we get stuck in the stagnant water, we get stuck in things that really keep us from ever tapping creative energy, ever living with creative energy. So that whole idea of rebirth is an essential element to what Rudy taught, to what I teach. And it's a matter of letting go. Going deep enough to surrender deep enough to let go of the old and let the whole new come. And trusting in God, trusting in life, trusting in everything. The miracle of the world we live in, with all this bullshit and everything else, it's a miracle, this world that we live in. And if we learn to trust that, it gives us the capacity to transform literally the human to the spiritual. And that transformation takes place in the sex chakra. And that's really all Tantra is about. They always make Tantra very erotic. Well, because it takes place in the sex chakra. But really what it's about is the transformation of the human to the divine. That's all Tantra is about. Rebirthing, being born again. Does anyone else have a question? Is that clear? I hope so.
Thank you, Stuart. Yeah, that was great. Thank you.
Does anyone else have a question? Thank you for your questions, Wendy. I love them. I know every class you're going to throw one at me, and I love it. Thank you. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask?
Hey,
Hi, Stuart. Oh,
Go ahead.
Who is it?
hi, it's Paula.
Oh, Paula. You too, Paula. Every class I get a question. Come on.
Thank you so much for that amazing answer. That was just incredible. So my question goes back to your answer to Tony's question. And I wanted to ask more about, you said a functioning chakra system. So my question is, could you talk more about what a functioning chakra system is like?
It's a very simple answer. You're balanced inside, your heart is open, your mind is quiet, your throat is open when you communicate to other people, energy is moving through the sexual area, and it's activating the force of Kundalini. That's an open chakra system. That's all it is. That grounding and that openness. You understand, when your heart is open and your throat is open, you will communicate to other people with consciousness. You will be able to speak in a way which you can't speak if you're all full of that emotion and tension and the throat is all clogged up and you can't speak. It's like static on a radio. Nobody really hears what you mean to say. So people scream at each other just trying to get heard. But if the heart's open, the throat's open, the mind is quiet, then this energy flows through you. It speaks. It can very easily separate what's an illusion from what's reality. Something the mind can't do. That's an open chakra system. And that's an incredible way to live because we have to every day communicate with other people. And I think it's really important that we learn how to communicate from a state of openness and not to be afraid to be open, but to be balanced. You need to be grounded inside, you know? And all of this works together. All of this is the ability to work out karma in the world and to transform the human to the spiritual. Even when you go to the grocery store, you know, I mean, you talk to somebody, it's, you know.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Is anyone else? Zach, you had a question?
Yes. So I've been feeling my like the base of the tailbone and like the near the sex area and the one point really prominently in my spine. And it's a lot easier to feel it in the spine and near the back than in the front. I'm just kind of wanting a little bit of orientation about how to relate with that, I suppose.
It's easy for you to feel the energy at the base of the spine.
Like it used to be more like in the belly almost, but now it feels like way in my spine itself and in the back more.
Don't worry about it. That's good, Zach. Just continue to open and work on yourself. That's what happens. More energy is moving through the sexual area to the base of the spine. It's activating Kundalini, and you'll feel that, you know? It's nothing to worry about. Just keep your attention focused below the navel, because that allows one to stay centered when Kundalini rises inside. As I've told you many times, Kundalini is a very powerful force, and we need to be rooted when dealing with it, you know, when it opens inside ourselves. But Kundalini is the pathway to enlightenment. It's the pathway to God. And we need to be rooted inside. Otherwise, I mean, you know, I mean, when I was a kid, I used to take an LSD thing and I would go for 6 hours experiencing Kundalini and it almost killed me. It was too strong. It was too powerful. I wasn't grounded inside. I wasn't centered inside. And it was burning me up. It was killing me. So just stay centered, stay grounded, let it happen moment to moment, you know, take it a step at a time, you know. It's the old story of the tortoise and the hare, you know, and let it go a step at a time, gradually opening inside and keeping yourself grounded, which will really activate Kundalini in a very healthy way. And don't worry about whether it's front or back, just stay centered inside and let the universe work on you. Let it work on you. Certainly works on me, you know, all the time. I tell you, you know.
Thank you.
I have a question, Stuart. This
Yes.
is Angela. Ever since I started meditating, I feel this kind of tension or pain in my heart area. And since I started doing the double breathing, it might take me half the meditation to open my heart area, and it starts with
Angela, the
this.
answer is very simple, dear. Just feel gratitude in your heart. Be grateful for your life. Be grateful for all the things that are in your life, the people in your life. That pain will go away. That pain is resistance of the heart, is resisting opening. And the simplest and quickest way to open the heart is just simple gratitude. And I promise you, you do that for a week or two, that pain will just disappear. It'll disappear. And you also will change. Your whole appearance will change. I mean it. You know, what'll be coming out of you is a whole different kind of energy. And that's it. I mean, it's no more complicated than that. And I've seen this in thousands of people, Angela, really, in thousands of people. I never once, I told this story, but it's worth telling. There was a woman in Los Angeles who used to do these talk programs with spiritual teachers. And I was staying at her house there, with a student of mine. And she came back completely freaked out. I mean, she looked like a total mess. And she said, I got to go to this luncheon, and all these actors and actresses are going to, famous people and celebrities are going to be there, and I feel like a mess. Excuse me. So I sat her down and I did about a 20-minute meditation with her. And I just drew all the tension out of her heart, all of it. And when it was over with, she looked 10 years younger. She was glowing. She said, what did you do to me? I feel like I'm, a teenager, It was really incredible. It was just tension built up in the heart chakra that didn't allow her to open there. And it was creating pain, anger, and anxiety, all kinds of stuff. So just feel gratitude. And I promise you it'll go away.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Does anyone else have a question? Okay, it'll be a class tomorrow evening. There'll be another one Sunday. Monday, I have to go to the doctor. I won't be here. I have an appointment, and something I do once a month. Hopefully it's going to come to an end soon. Does anyone else have a question you would like to ask? Okay, again, as I always tell you, thank you. I feel very blessed to be able to sit here and do this with all of you, because the very presence of every single person that attends these classes, it just helps me to grow in my own life. And I have a lot of gratitude for every single one of you, being here, doing this, taking your time to work on yourself, to grow, and it's, I always say thanks, in all humility, thank you for participating in this and being, really hopefully using this meditation to truly build your life and to grow in your life. So God bless you all. I can't wait to someday that we can all do it in person, and not, not on Zoom. Well, the Zoom classes, I think, will go on forever, because it's an amazing way to bring people together from all over the world, So bless you. I hopefully will see everybody tomorrow, and have a wonderful evening. And thank you. Bless you.
Thank you, Stuart.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Okay.